Simple question. What's up with Deebo? What's happening there?
Well, when you strip everything related to your team from your social media page at a time when every other receiver that is eligible for a contract is getting a contract, other than DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, but there's at least some rumbling that Metcalf is going to get paid by somebody and the Titans want to keep Brown. This Deebo Samuel contract situation has been so overlooked, it rarely gets mentioned, and this is a guy who's a combination receiver and running back, and it makes it even more urgent, in my view, for him to get his financial reward. He's got a greater physical risk every time he plays because of the way they now use him. And he's going to have a shorter career, quite possibly, if they continue to use him like a running back. So now's the time for him to take a stand. Now's the time for him to try to get paid. And they're carrying around $25 million in cap space for Jimmy Garoppolo as they wait to decide what to do with him. If they would just move on from Garoppolo, they'd have more than enough cap space to get Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa taken care of. I mean, they got a problem with those two guys. Bosa's going to want $30 million a year. Deebo's going to want $27, $28 million a year. And both guys deserve it. This is one of the byproducts of having great players. They deserve to get paid. And as we see the receiver market mushroom at the top, it's just a matter of time before Deebo gets his. And if I were him, I'm not doing anything. I'm not setting foot on a field anywhere until I get my contract. Now, maybe we'll see him hold in like T.J. Watt did last year, show up, be at meetings, work out, but just not put himself at risk of any kind until he gets paid. And obviously it worked for T.J. Watt and for the Steelers. He showed no ill effects of not being involved in training camp or the preseason. He went on to have a Defensive Player of the Year type effort.
So Garoppolo getting shoulder surgery and potentially removing his chess piece from the craziest ass chessboard in the history of the NFL of March 2022 has a ripple effect with two guys who want to get paid, and that may be leading to whatever's going on to take photographs off of Deebo's social media? Is that essentially the dots being connected here?
That may very well have something to do with it. The 49ers currently have less than $2 million in cap space. Now, look, if you want to create cap space, it isn't all that hard to do it. You can take other contracts, you can move money around, you can kick the can into future years. But when you've got an easy $25 million, then you can instantly clear if you move on from Jimmy G. And I don't know whether or not they're just slow playing this because they think there's going to be a Teddy Bridgewater catastrophic knee injury that all of a sudden creates a market for Jimmy G when one isn't there. He's got $25 million plus due. He's got 1 year on his contract. I don't know who's going to give up anything of value for him without a restructured or extended contract, and he's got no incentive to do it. So, yeah, the moment they move on from Jimmy G, they got a lot more cap space available for these guys they got to keep. And I can't help but wonder, Rich, at some level whether there are people in the 49ers organization who just may be concerned Trey Lance isn't ready. And I hear those whispers from time to time, not nearly enough to make a big deal about it, but you can have a split of opinion in the organization as to whether or not Lance needs another year on the bench. And then it's about spending the $25 million, not just keeping it on the books until Labor Day weekend, but keeping it all the way through the season and giving Jimmy G 1 more year while Trey Lance continues to get ready.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.